Hello and welcome to Last Time On. This is the podcast where we pick a show none of us have ever seen, watch the pilot, roll some dice, skip some episodes, and try to figure out what happened last time on. I'm Xhafer.
I am Ben.
I'm Victor, and did you know that 1 out of 3 podcast hosts do not wear pants?
That's true. I'm not wearing pants.
We don't. Oh God, so glad this is an audio. Jesus, Lord effing wallabies. Those are some
Too much
hairy
leg.
ass pasty legs over there.
Look, I have pretty olive skin when I get sun.
It's true.
Okay.
You need to get some goddamn sun.
I need to get some sun.
You have the tan lines of an IT professional, meaning
So.
none.
I've gotten a little sun, but not enough. I
I
was
will
out in the
say-
sun most of the day today, actually.
I will say, two of us are in the hottest location today, and it is not our friend in Texas.
Yeah, that's wild. Ben
true.
and I were talking about the weather earlier, and yeah, really exciting conversation. But yeah, for once, Texas is not the hot, humid shithole in the U.S. that it is usually known for. So
Yeah,
that's on you guys now.
It sucks.
Yeah,
it's fucking hot out.
surprisingly.
That said,
It was-
I spent 3 hours at Greenfield Village today, which
Nice.
is a fantastic historical outdoor living museum where it's like, hey, we've got
wow.
Henry Ford's house, and we've got Thomas Edison's Menlo Park.
Oh, nice.
And they actually have a plantation house where they're like, hey, and this place was a hellhole.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate.
Yeah, a long time ago, I was in Key West, and I got to see what's his name, the big game hunter, the writer. He has a house. In Key West
Ernest
full of
Hemingway?
cats. Hemingway, that guy. Yeah, I saw Ernest Hemingway's house, and it was full of cats everywhere. I mean, that was apparently part of his will that he wanted. Like, his house got turned into a museum, but it was owned by the cats, apparently, something along those lines.
Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of hot, humid places, had a really good night last night. So for the listeners, audio listeners, you can't see, I'm podcasting live from the brand new Dominion Media headquarters. Getting my podcasting room set up in the new house. Last night for celebration, I took Corrine out to a comedy show in Austin, and we went to the. It was a Pride Month for charity. I forgot the name of the charity, but it was for LGBTQ
Close enough.
sources. It was really good. It was a Pride comedy variety hour, and I swear it was the most awkward comedians I've ever seen. But it was good. It was a good vibe. They were awkward on stage, and we joked about our social anxiety, and it was real millennial humor, but it was a lot of fun. And there was an improv duo there who were playing they played a game called Sex With Me, and it was like audience throws out any word like potato, and one of them was like, sex with me is like a potato, it's better baked. And then,
I've seen that
and
episode of
Sex with me
Game
is like
Changer.
potato. It's better with the cream on the inside.
So then I yelled out Star Trek, and one of the duo there was not familiar with Star Trek, which broke my heart. But then the other one stepped in saying, "Sex with me is like Star Trek. Only men over 50 enjoy it."
That's decidedly not true. I'm not over 50.
It was a fun night. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds
Sex with me is like Star Trek. I learned by watching it with my dad.
That's a good episode. All right. Time to wrap up this podcast.
Oh man.
My
Well,
dad didn't
see
get
what
me
the
into
cool
Star
girls are
Trek.
doing.
Nothing about the sex bit, but
Yeah. I was just talking with Corinne earlier that the first, because she's 10 years younger than me, she said I think the first Star Trek movie she saw in theaters was Nemesis, I think.
Oh dang!
And, yeah,
it's a bummer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the first one I ever saw in theaters was Star Trek V: The Final Frontier. And
I
even
remember
as
going and seeing Undiscovered Country in theaters.
oh, dude,
My
Undiscovered
first
Country
one was
awesome.
Generations.
Yeah. Oh wow, but I remember even as a 12-year-old Victor was like, that was not as good as the other movies.
I will always remember being in line to see Generations because it was the first time I actually could. I successfully Vulcan saluted.
Oh really? Did you have trouble doing the pinky
I had
finger
trouble
thing?
getting
Yeah.
the ring finger over.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so Generations with my friend who I don't know if I've talked about him on this show, but he built a full Star Trek bridge and engine room in his basement, and we would play Star Trek at his house.
What?
How have you never mentioned this, Ben?
I don't know.
You don't mean like life size, do you? You mean like out of Legos or something, right?
No, he
What?
had 2 rooms that were storerooms in his basement that his parents let him have, and his parents were they did all right. They owned an insurance company, and they got him a projector that projected the Windows 95 warp screensaver on the back wall.
Oh, that's badass.
And they got 4 CRT TVs, recessed them into 4 tables, and
my
had
God.
LCARS printouts so that the TV backlit the LCARS. And then they got like a 4-foot tall lava lamp and put it in the little tiny room next to what was clearly supposed to be a storeroom. And that was our warp core.
Oh my God.
And so
stop
me
it.
and my friends in 6th, 7th grade, we would pretend that those were our consoles, and then somebody was back there in the engine room, and then we'd all his new house was next to a golf course, and so we'd all grab Nerf guns or NES light guns with the cords cut off, and then we'd run around the golf course going on away missions.
Oh, you did mention something about the away missions before. That's pretty epic.
I always died.
I've seen that episode of Bluey.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin, great guy.
Huh. Yeah, you think that would have come up before, but here we are, Ben.
It had to have. With the rate I repeat stories.
I know. Nearly 20 years of friendship, and I don't think I've heard that one before.
Well, he didn't have a Babylon 5 room in the basement.
Fair. That would have been cooler. I don't know what
to
that
be
Babylon
fair, that would
5
be
room
really
would have been in the
uncomfortable.
basement.
Yeah.
It's just a list.
Zocalo.
I don't know if the White Star does not look like the most ergonomically comfortable bridge.
No.
And all the Earth Force ships are super cramped, so it'd be like a submarine. So yeah, yeah. Star Trek with its carpeting and plushy furniture is definitely the way to go.
It's a lot comfier.
But speaking of being living in a comfier lifestyle, today we are reviewing Billions, season 5, episode 5, Contract.
Yeah.
And I was super excited about getting to review this episode after watching it.
Me too.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about here.
Yeah. I know I didn't go back and change my notes, so when my first line is, we open in media babysitting, who gave Papa Rhodes a baby? Oh! Already wrong.
Yeah.
As we find out over the course of the episode, this is his fucking baby.
Yeah, so I also assumed that he was playing with his granddaughter here at this in this scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to that. We get Chuck Sr. playing with a little toddler. It's really endearing. And
Although I was just I thought Wendy was drinking in the last one. Maybe Xhafer did get his time skip.
That's still does seem like a little bit of a possibility because this kid I don't know. I don't know how babies work, Ben. How old is this baby?
That baby is
Under 6 months?
under 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so
But that's still,
possible for a time skip, yeah.
I mean, gestationally, 6-month baby. We're talking almost a year and a half here.
Who do we
coming
think the
up on.
mother is? Because it's definitely not Mrs. Rhodes.
Lana Del Rey.
Oh, Lana Del Rey's a good guess.
Yeah.
Taylor and Wendy need true believers for their eco-friendly capitalist investment firm.
But we notice where they are now?
They are back at Axe Cap. They're
back
sharing
at
the same building.
I did not clock. Like, I thought they'd just taken over the Axe Cap office until we see some of the employees mingling, like, halfway through the episode.
Yeah.
I mark it when I realize in my notes, so we'll
Wendy
get there.
is still most definitely on Bobby Axe's payroll, but it seems she's also on Taylor's payroll as well. So
I'm going to say last time on, Axe found a way to, like, really put the boot on Taylor's neck in a way that was not consensual. But
Go ahead, but I disagree.
But she, like, hey, you can't get out from under me, but you can join me.
join me. Together we can rule the galaxy. We rule the financial
you were meant
markets.
to be with me. Because that does feel kind of like, I don't know, part of this does feel like Axe really wants to be a dad, but is bad at being a dad.
Oh, you
and
know
has no, and as we learned in this episode, has no reference point for what a good dad is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, like, with the stuff we've seen in the previous episodes, we've seen, like, he provides monetary support, but no physical, like, time in, because he doesn't realize that that's important, because his dad didn't put any time in.
Yeah.
And while people like Taylor and John Rice were like, hey, this fucking sucks, he's like, but I gave you way more than I ever got. Why are you not being grateful?
Right. This is the only thing that a father could provide is money and, you know, time.
Well, I'm also like
irrelevant.
Not hitting you or anyone you know. Why are you not happy with me? I gave you money and stayed out of your fucking shit.
Honestly, for a lot of the fathers that I know personally, that would have been a better option. But I digress. Let's not talk about my trauma.
Stop texting Henry.
Yeah, I think last time on, Taylor actually beat Axe.
Oh.
And this was the settlement was the, hey, let's stop fighting because I'm going to lose. So I'm going to give you money so that way you can lounge and figure out this investment firm thing that makes a difference that you actually want to do, because beating me hasn't given you the fulfillment that you were hoping it would.
That would circle back to Taylor, the first episode we saw with Taylor, where they were talking about how they didn't like to be competitive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it completely clangs with the Taylor, fuck this small town we saw.
Everything
I'm
else
hoping that
we've
was a
seen
phase.
from Taylor is that is a weird moment for them.
I hope so. I hope that it was them just being like, okay, if I'm here, I gotta play this game. But they were the most, hey, fuck this town. And as a person from a small town, I didn't appreciate it. And so Taylor is infinitely on my shit list.
Fair.
As a person from a small town who would very well be happy to see that small town fucked over, I still did not appreciate it as well. Fuck you, Lockhart, Texas. You were responsible for one of the worst years of my life, but your barbecue is good. Anyway.
You got to move a little closer to the mic.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that before. Okay. Daisy, come here.
Man, now I want barbecue.
Dude, Lockhart, Texas does have some of the best barbecue in the world. I'm not going to lie. That's about all it's good for.
But now we cut over to the best part of this episode.
Wendy fucking Malick.
Yeah!
It took me a moment to realize that this is, in fact, not Mallory from Archer.
No, this is Wendy fucking Malick.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm so excited. Like, I didn't realize we were accidentally starting a Wendy Malick fan cast, but I am 100% on board.
Yeah.
Best part of Viper, best part of Billions.
Wendy Malick was in Viper?
Yeah, she was one of those 2 kidnappers.
Oh. Wait.
And I gushed over how much I love Wendy Malick.
Yeah.
I thought that was why you texted us. Hey, this is a great episode.
No, those were not. She was not one of the guest stars in this episode. I was super excited about.
She's the only one I gave a shit about.
Nice.
I knew Ben was going to be excited, and I do think that there might be the dice. The dice might like Wendy Malick. That might be a real thing.
Yeah. I knew I
like
recognized her
Wendy Malick.
voice though, because she was one of the Beta Z intelligence officers in that one episode of Lower Decks.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
She was also in Just Shoot Me.
Nina Van Horn.
Which is one of my favorite bits of lore from Just Shoot Me, is she was the Yoko for Wings.
Oh God.
She was the negative female presence that broke up Wings.
Oh wow. Well,
in my notes I have written, I am so happy because I was just so excited that Wendy Malick was here, and she is the person inside the New York government who approves banks.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we learn from this scene that Chuck and Bobby Axe are enemies again, as it
should be.
Yeah, it was really weird last episode.
Yeah.
It was nice for a season,
Yeah.
but this is how it always was meant
That's
to
how it
be.
should be. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, they want Chuck and Kate want.
Yeah, Kate is
Wendy.
now back on Team Chuck.
Yeah. They want Wendy Malick's character here to stall the approval for a bank for Bobby and his firm. Apparently, they want to start a bank. That's interesting. I guess it makes sense.
They explain it later.
Yeah. Yeah. Axe really wants this bank. Chuck's like, he can't have it. And I'm willing to give you some political favor of some variety.
Yeah.
And she's all like, I already have every banker in New York owing me a favor. Like, what the fuck? And then it's all like, well, there's other things the Attorney General can do. And then when she
gives him a
mentions-
side quest.
Yeah.
She
this
does.
engagement ring. He's all like, okay.
This
we can make
engagement
that
ring
happen.
that has been in her family since the 40s, it sounds like, was smuggled out of Nazi-occupied Germany.
It was. So she just says it was smuggled out of Germany. I'm hoping it was smuggled out of Nazi-occupied Germany and not like my grandfather, the lieutenant colonel, left with a bag full of jewelry and asked for no questions.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that possibility.
Yeah, it depends on what part of the 1940s she left Germany in. A great
Exactly.
deal.
Well, I guess it could also be maybe Cold War era Germany because they had the wall.
It was
and
smuggled
shit,
out in
maybe.
1946. I'm like, uh-oh.
Not good.
This does feel more like it was smuggled out in much earlier.
Yeah. So we cut back to Axe and Wags and the lawyer going
And Spiros in a fantastic hat.
This is
Yeah.
a top hat.
to go finalize this bank deal, and then they get shut down pretty quickly. Now, Axe speculates here that it's either Chuck or Prince who is fucking him. We don't hear or see of Prince the rest of this episode.
Oh, I want it to be the former pop
And so
star.
let me just say, last time on...
It's back to what happened to her.
Oh, okay, fine. What happened to me?
No, it's going to what happened to her, Vic.
Ah,
Vic,
goddammit.
what happened to her?
What the hell happened? Can't explain. But I got the van.
Fuck you! I had a whole Prince thing!
Well, I'm going to defer to Ben here because I prepared a few Wahapahers, none of them which have to do with the investor formerly known as Prince. Ben, take it away.
That is exactly that. Axe was at a party in Minneapolis and was just got going too much with the flow, and it was going in and everybody was feeling it and it was going out, and next thing you know, he was He was getting fucked by Prince.
Figuratively?
No, literally.
Oh!
Because when you're at Prince's house, like, hey, man, it's all...
Yeah.
We're all God's children in the dark. I know I'm wrong. Don't care for Prince.
Yeah, you're wrong. Yeah, 100%.
Well,
By all accounts, not just an excellent musician, but also a great person.
It is not a personal, like, I don't hate him. I just, like...
I don't think I know a
never done
single
anything
Prince
for
song. So, yeah, I'm on Team Ben here.
If all you know of Prince is, like, Raspberry Beret and Purple Rain, you are missing out on a ton of excellent music.
I also know When Doves Cry.
Okay,
so
I do
yeah,
know
but
When Doves Cry.
that's all the Purple Rain album still. Doves
Okay.
Cry is also Purple Rain. So it's like you know a couple of hits from his most commercially successful album.
You know what? I'm a big enough person to say, Xhafer, give me a Prince album, and I will listen to it before the next episode.
Okay. I'll give you a couple songs.
Do it.
Yeah. What is it? Just
Not right now,
The
but
vibe.
just like-
Well, no, I'm looking for guidance here. Is it the vibe? Is it the instrumentation? Is it too much? Is it too little? Like what do you not like? Is it just generally?
It's always been a little much for me.
Okay, so maybe something a little bit more stripped down, like Nothing Compares to You or a Darling Nikki.
Okay, I'll listen to those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jam out.
No, there was a
I'm
famous
always
cover
willing
of
to give a
Darling
thing a
Nikki
try.
within the past decade or so. I forgot, but anyway. Anyway,
But
speaking
as I
of
told-
darlings,
As I told one of our friends, Eric, when he shared the trailer for the new Toxic Avenger film, hey, it's not for me, but I'm glad it's there for the people it's there for.
I think
not
I
just
might be
yums.
incorrect, but I think one of my fellow Facebook Star Trek meme smiths is in that movie. I'll have to double check.
Dope.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Vic, we need to get you in a movie.
Oh, you know, I was in one, but the project got canceled. There was a Godzilla fan movie that I auditioned for, and it was actually going to get released in it was going to be at the bin and the Dollar General, but it was Godzilla Fate is Coming. I think it's still on IMDb, but production was stalled because of COVID. But I recorded all the voice lines for the main villain. I was really looking forward to that being the thing. I forgot his name, but he was a space alien who came down, disguised himself as a human scientist, and wanted to get a hold of some kaiju to like conquer Earth or some shit. It was a lot of fun. But,
Did you see they just announced the Godzilla Lego set?
No, I don't have the money to spend on Legos right now. They're so expensive.
They are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive.
As a parent of a 6-year-old, shit.
I've seen on like not eBay, but one of those eBay like sites that they're selling counterfeit Legos. They're so expensive.
I'm mad right now because I know the D&D Legos, the minifigs, are out of print, and I'm missing one.
Just eBay it.
I know.
Oh man, just 3D print that shit. Anyway,
but it's not the same. It's not the same
That's
as
true.
getting it in the blind pack.
yeah, it's true.
But
anyway, I do have a not official prediction, not yet anyway. But I feel like Ari is going through what you guys introduced me as the term is Flandersization.
oh, he's being
Ari's getting
Flanderdized?
Flanders. Yeah, because
100%.
he's kind of ridiculous in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's showing up at the top.
Spiros?
Yeah.
Spiros, yeah.
I've always felt like he's been a weird dude, and now he's letting his freak flag fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to some more details about him later that I picked up
Yeah.
on.
X tries to piece together how they're going to meet all of Nina Van Horn's demands. But he finds out about this hit piece that's going to run against him because he missed a dinner in Yonkers.
Yes.
Yeah, now that is what I prepared my What Happened Here's for.
Yeah.
So, Victor, what happened to her?
Can't explain.
Thank you.
Should ask me.
So we
I love
later
you.
find out that this inner city kid in Yonkers, which by the way, I didn't think Yonkers was a real place, but apparently it is.
You have to
first
pay
time,
extra for it.
first time I ever heard the term Yonkers was in World War Z, not the movie, but in the book.
The book is great.
Yes, I read a book, by the way. So, but yeah, the Battle of Yonkers was a big piece of zombie history in World War Z, and I thought Yonkers was one of those fictional places they just made up for the story. But no, apparently it's a real place. Anyway,
Real place.
we find out this inner city kid from Yonkers lived in Bobby Axe's childhood house.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say what happened was that in some in the attic or some little hidey spot, he found Bobby Axe's social security card or birth certificate or something, and went ahead and opened up a fake credit card within his name because he's like, holy fucking shit, it's the richest man in New York City, and bought a whole bunch of shit. And of course it set off all kinds of flags for him, and it was a big media thing, like a kid from the ghetto opens up credit card in Bobby Axe's name, but instead
Where?
of
In the ghetto.
yeah.
The cold and gray Chicago morning, another little baby child's born in the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
In the ghetto,
And
in the
her
ghetto,
mother
you can hear the
cries.
crackheads.
There's one thing that she don't need, it's another little hungry mouth to feed.
Anyway,
Anyways.
I love you guys.
Living in the ghetto wonderland. Yeah, no, that's a song I made up when I was a kid. And I was like, oh shit, how did it go? Down the
Mr. Wonderland?
street, hear the sirens. In the park, the guns are firing. We're living in trash, we look really thrashed. Living in the ghetto wonderland. You know, I can say that because I grew up in the ghetto. Anyway,
You grew up where?
in the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
Cold
Yeah,
and
we've
gray
had-
Remember, you're
Chicago
talking about
morning,
you as white
another little...
people. You have to Elvis it.
Anyway, so yeah,
You don't.
but and then it was a big media piece because instead of pressing charges against this kid, he's like, no, I started from where you started, and it's okay. You can do good for yourself through hard work and dedication or some other bullshit. And it was all a big piece for the newspaper. And they invited him to dinner, like the family invited him to dinner on camera. And he said, yes, I would love to share a meal with you in my roots, which apparently he bailed on them. But yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Then
We also find that Wendy is now having to deal with Taylor's soft boy traders.
Yeah.
And we have a real real cuddler type where he's just like, hey, here's all the texts I sent to my girlfriend.
and
And
he's
she's like,
scrolling and is scrolling.
those
and
are a
scrolling.
lot of one-sided texts. Like, read the room, guy.
Yeah.
It's like, is it because of my cuddle noises? It's like, well, did she complain about them? Yes, she did. Then maybe, or maybe it's everything. But Wendy is also not engaged right now. She is checking her phone while
Yeah.
therapizing, which is bad.
It's bad, but this type of problem seems very well below Wendy's skill set. Like, this is easy mode therapy for her. She can do this.
Well, but it's also
Not
she
paying
is not addressing any underlying problems. She is not helping this guy.
Well, and I'll be honest, I thought that this was some kid that she was doing like charity therapy for. But no, it turns out I think he actually works there at AXCAP. I
He
figured
does.
he was. Yeah,
He works.
This
at
dude
Taylor
looks
Cap.
young. He looks like he's like 19 or 20 maybe. But let's see.
Macy
And then
Capital.
Wendy and Taylor are interviewing a new potential employee.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Ryan.
R
Who's got a-
I-A-N, who is a girl.
Got an algorithm that is tracking every period in the world.
It's kind of smart, actually. Kind of smart because I mean that's one of those things. When I was
What I don't understand what this thing is actually doing.
Well, the math is also wrong. makes me mad because the show is smarter than that.
How is the math
Is
wrong?
it?
In what aspect?
The math is wrong because they're basing it on the percentage of people in the world who are women, without including the fact that a percentage of the women in the world are either postmenopausal or premenstrual. I hate saying that as a white man.
Premenstrual?
Makes me feel awful. It's just like, oh man, what has Ben worried about? And it's like, I'm just worried about math. We're
No, but that is a
like,
good point, though. There's a good point. It would
but
be only from
still,
a
she
certain
brings
age
up a
range.
good point.
Yeah.
That there is.
This is so fucking dumb, guys. What does this actually do? What, like, it's either fucking tracking the actual timing of every woman in the world's period,
to
right?
see if they can come up
or,
with the sync.
or it's just telling you the population breakdown by gender of, like, it's either so unspecific, so generic that it's common knowledge, or
Yeah.
it's so specific that it's so incredibly intrusive that there's no way it's legal, and there's no middle.
Okay, you guys sold me here. You guys opened my eyes here, because when I was watching this, I'm like, oh, that's kind of brilliant, actually. But then I'm like, oh, now listening to you guys, it's like, well, this has been an issue since, all of mankind's history, or humankind's history. So this is not anything new. You're right.
We
Yeah,
talk
but her
about
idea
timing
is
the
how to capitalize
logistics
on it.
of shipments of shit.
Yeah, she wants to get sanitary.
Yeah, this is, like, nobody has thought of this before. Good point, guys. Yeah.
Well, but also, like, it's not worth money. It's just helping people. And so it is like, fuck you, capitalism. Like, this can, like, get people what they need when they need it.
If it's looking to, like, help people who need feminine hygiene products and can't get them, just say that. Don't try and make it this whole thing about timing, logistics, and investment.
Yeah.
Also, what algorithm would this be? Like, algorithm is a mathematical equation of some variety, right? Like, what is the algorithm here? What are you possibly fucking mathing?
So percentage population,
Okay,
percentage of population that is female, percentage of population that is menstruating.
Yeah.
What, based on, like, current trends and statistics, when they are tending to buy stuff. Hey, can we predict when to send the pads, etc., where they need
They're
to
fucking
be?
shelf stable. Who cares when they get there? As long as they're not expired of some variety, like, you send them 6 months early, it's not going to be that big of a problem. Like, it does fucking
it's not
nothing.
That big of a deal.
It's not like you're trying to, like, some magical berry we find cures cancer, but 3 days after it's picked, it turns bad. Like, you're not trying to solve that level of logistical problem here. It's just like, what does this thing fucking do?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. One of the first
All
things
we
I
can say
learned-
here is Xhafer doesn't care about women.
Oh, God. Thank you, Benjamin, our correspondent from fucking Cable News.
Welcome to Cool Dudes Don't Care About Women. That's not true.
No.
It's really not
I'm
true.
not. Ben, no.
I was just going to say that one of the first things I learned when I was living less than paycheck to paycheck, struggling to make rent and bills, was that one thing that is always a good idea to splurge on when there's a sale or whatnot is always things like toilet paper, paper towels, shelf-stable products, because you're always going to need them. So.
Yep. What's his
Vic,
name?
are you saying everybody poops?
Apparently, studies have shown.
Squirrely
way,
Dan from Letterkenny has a whole bit where he says the best thing you can do after you buy a house is to buy a second house and fill it with toilet paper, because you're going to need that for the rest of your life, and the price will only ever go up.
Well, I might as well just drop this bit of TMI for Victor, but I recently installed bidets in both the toilets in my new home here. Dude, they're wonderful.
fan?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I have
big
never
fan.
had a bidet before, but guys, my asshole is so clean right now.
Well,
It's
you think it's so
amazing.
clean, but you need to get back there with a mirror to really know.
Yeah, send us a picture.
All right, I'll post it in the Discord.
All right.
Anyway,
Buttholes
And drop
everywhere.
just so fresh and clean.
Anyway, Bobby's playing pool with this inner city kid. And
Yeah.
This is really just wow, dude. This fucking billionaire pulls up into the heart of the ghetto in his fucking what is this guy? This Mercedes that
Whatever it was,
his
yeah.
driver drops him off, and I just love it. This kid tells Bobby Axe to fuck right off.
Oh, yeah.
Was so awesome.
But he also, so I appreciated this kid. They're playing pool, and Axe is talking about the difference between a contract and contract.
He said the thing. I got my point. He said the title of the episode.
He did.
Got one.
But like just an understanding between men. But this kid is also just like, man, I gave you the thing you wanted. So clearly something happened.
Yeah.
And my idea last time on is that in order for Axe Capital to keep doing some of the stuff it needs to do, it also needs to have a bank. Because there is this distinction, as tenuous as it is, between bank stuff and investment stuff. And Axe needs to keep jumping both sides of that line. And he was trying to be like, hey, I'm a man of the people again. I'm doing stuff in Yonkers. I'm from New York. And was trying to use this kid who lived in his old house as like a totem. And the kid was like, man, I spoke for you. You got the thing you needed. Like, I don't owe you shit. And I liked that he sunk a bunch of pool balls, took Axe's money, and was just like, we done.
Hell yeah.
And I appreciated that Axe looked at him, and it wasn't like when he was with Rice in the last episode, where Rice was clearly lying to him and being, like, bullshitting him, and he was clearly looking at him like, I know you're lying to me, you're full of shit. Where with this kid, he's like, you're being upfront and straight with me.
Mm-hmm.
As much as you're messing with me, I respect you.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciated the look of that, because this kid is dumb as hell. This kid, his family has like negative $50,000. They are like underwater.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like pissing off a billionaire.
Yeah.
It is, on every account, the dumb move.
I would say the kid's just inexperienced.
I mean,
but
he's inexperienced, but he's dumb, but he's straightforward. And Axe appreciated that. And I feel like that is what leads to the rest of the episode, instead of Axe being like, hey, kid, let's go fishing. And we come back like, I've ruined your whole fucking life.
Yeah. This kid is in a great...
Yeah.
He doesn't realize he's in he has leverage over a billionaire right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he's at least done something that the billionaire appreciates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, let's see. Back at
Chuck
headquarters,
and Kate bring in Jackie Connerty.
played by
Yeah.
Michael Raymond James. Now, this was the guy that I was like, holy shit, a guest star. This was my first holy shit moment. But I know this guy from, I used to be really obsessed with the TV show Once Upon a Time. It was my happy place, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Okay.
But he played...
Don't be ashamed.
I think he played...
Live in your truth, man.
Yeah. No, because I would get off... It was when I was working at Camp Mabry, and I would get off work. I wouldn't even take off my uniform, and I would just be like, watch the latest episode of Once Upon a Time. But this guy
Now, how long
played...
did it take you for you to figure out who his brother was?
Oh, I didn't realize it until he showed up. But anyway, he played Rumpelstiltskin's son in Once Upon a Time, I think. Anyway,
Okay.
just want to throw that out there.
Rumpelstiltskin Jr.?
I think so. I think that's who he played. It's been like a decade since I watched that show. So.
Okay.
I was really hoping we'd find a third person who was killed by John Wick, but
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one to me later. But anyway,
or maybe I forget. Was the adjudicator killed?
no, the adjudicator survived.
Okay, but John Wick killed Brian.
Brian was in John Wick.
Yeah, Brian was in the first one.
Really?
Yeah,
haven't seen
Oh,
it.
and
I had no
John
idea.
Wick
So long.
drowns him in a sink.
Oh, dope.
Yeah,
I don't remember that at all. The first one I skip because of the wiener dog. But
the first one's the best one.
Yeah, I can't watch the wiener dog scene. I got to skip over that. It hurts too much. So even though I know it's fake, it's only TV. The wiener dog's fine. No animals were harmed in the making of this movie. Still,
That's not true.
It's been long enough since the movie that the dog might not be fine.
shut up, Xhafer.
Just saying.
don't you,
Dog
you-
act.
don't say that out
It's
loud.
what dogs do.
No, they don't. So anyway,
And I'd say all dogs.
so
go
Chuck
to
is
heaven,
talking to
but
the jewelry
movie
thief.
proves that's not true.
Yeah, well, dogs,
There are dogs in dog hell.
Sure, there.
Why'd you
know,
show
don't-
me that, Brian? Why'd you show me that, Burt Reynolds?
Well, just like humans,
Fuck!
some dogs are assholes. Okay, but
Some dogs are
I venture to
assholes.
say. I venture to say that the percentages per capita is much less. So anyway, yeah, Chuck is hiring a jewelry thief so to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
get this to go get this Holocaust diamond ring.
Fuck you, Bar Rescue. This is It Takes a Thief, which is my favorite TV show.
Holy
that only
shit! You're the
lasted-
first person I've met that actually watched that show. Yeah, I used to watch that show
loved It
religiously.
Takes a Thief.
Yeah, it was
This
fun.
episode's
It
gonna
was
run so long.
It felt like it was so fake, though. Did you ever see the episode where they robbed a fucking police station?
Yes,
That's bonkers. I'm like, there is no way this is real.
and
But
then they
anyway.
did,
And then
they
they
robbed
did,
the shit out of it.
Yeah, it was epic.
And
Anyway.
loved It Takes a Thief.
It was a fun show. It was fun.
My favorite was when they robbed the frat house.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh, they robbed the shit out of.
What are they gonna get? The beer pong table?
They stole like everybody's like electric like computers and cameras and all the guys came back and like, where's my laptop and where's my like digital camera? And it's like, yeah, we only got like $5,000 worth of stuff, but your lives are fucked.
Yeah. I'm super sus every time I see a U-Haul in the neighborhood because I'm all just like, ooh, that house is getting robbed. But anyway, so yeah, they hired this jewelry thief.
Anyways, Lauren is working with Wags. Lauren is working with Wags
Yeah.
to get a CEO placed for the bank. And this is the moment where I
Interviewing
realize they're in
CEOs.
the same office.
Right.
I
CEOs.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's
lost
kind of
the
an
thread
interesting
here.
thing. Interviewing
Yeah.
for CEOs.
This is where we find out that they have merged and become an unholy amoeba.
They named it a tax capital. Maybe Max Capital.
that would be really good. Yeah.
And now we find out, and we enter into my world for a minute. So we find out that the reason
mortgage
why
company?
Nina Van Horn has been able to say you can't form a bank is because there's this other bank already operating here. And they're like, yeah, but it's a shitty bank.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
hey, it helps underprivileged people. And now
Do
we
it.
find out that they've been doing a sting.
Yep.
I did the nose thing for anybody who knows the sting. Where they had two of their an axe cap and a tailor cap employee go in and apply for a loan, and they were given a like 9% rate. And then Dollar Bill went in and was given a 2% rate, all whilst Spiros, without his top hat, which I found more conspicuous than Spiros in a top hat, because he feels like a top hat,
He does.
is filming very conspicuous. And
Yeah.
part of me, and I will say, like, Victor has asked Xhafer questions as an IT professional. As a mortgage professional, this is straight up crimes, man. Like, this is fucking illegal. And yeah,
It felt very illegal.
it is bad.
Hello.
And I would be like kicking this person in the grundle. Which, if you don't know, the difference between the genitals and the taint and the grundle's all of it. Like, I'm just kicking you as hard as I can down there.
I'm podcasting right now.
Because this is illegal as shit. You can't give people... Oh.
Yeah.
I think my internet just went out.
He texted. His internet is out. Okay. I guess we just carry on without Vic.
All right, we'll see if Victor rejoins us. Thank you, Texas. But anyway, to wrap this up, this other bank is doing super legal shit. You can't be giving people different mortgage rates based on their marital status, the color of their skin, their sexual identity, anything that is protected. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, for now.
Yeah. Yep. So all this goes down. Jackie hits on Kate before heading out to steal the ring. And Tanner, who is Wendy's gentleman caller,
New beau.
they talk about being starstruck for a bit.
And then we also see that Wendy is talking to Taylor about how much of their new business they should be owning.
Yeah, so it sounds like Axe has 50%.
Yes. And they're fighting
but-
over the other 50.
Well, I think he's a 50% investor. I don't think he's a 50% owner.
An important distinction.
Yeah. So it's going to be 60-40. We find out by the end of the episode, but this is a point of contention the entire time. And we have Taylor and Lauren talking over dinner, where Lauren questions the ability to trust Wendy.
Which, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, okay, so she's so smart. Okay, so she's so good at manipulating people. Okay, so she's smart and good at manipulating people. Why would you trust her if that's her skill set?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because we could really use her on our team.
Yeah.
Instead of being, like, at arm's length.
You guys are talking about
that
that
is-
scene where when Taylor and Lauren are having dinner at the office late at night.
Yes.
Oh God, that scene gave me gas.
That scene is very much like Taylor is much smarter than Lauren.
Yeah.
Lauren is playing JV ball.
But no, just I've worked with workaholics like that, and they're the worst. Like, ugh, get a fucking life, guys. Come on. Anyway.
But then we get to Chuck in lockdown. And who does he see in the clink?
Yeah. Apparently the jewelry thief's brother is Brian.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that
And
surprised
Brian
the hell out
is
of me.
in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys. Let's get weird with it.
Let's get
What are we getting weird with? Why is he in prison?
Let's get weird.
All right, so when last we saw Brian, he jump scared Chuck as he was going into his first day on the job. So
Yes, he did.
yeah. So him and Chuck are definitely enemies at this point. Prior to that, he was trying to get the info on Chuck for the dirty deal he did with Lawrence Boyd. I'm gonna say Brian did not leave it alone. Did not leave alone the thing with Lawrence Boyd. So he went out to Lawrence Boyd's boat and tried to get more information out of him. And Lawrence Boyd, well, what's he doing these days? We know he can't have his private jet anymore.
Yeah.
And we know that Lawrence Boyd gets his rocks off, getting jiggy with the wives of his coworkers.
Employees' wives.
Yes. So he can't do that on a plane anymore. So he's trying to something new. He's trying to do it on a boat. So So Brian walks in on Lawrence Boyd's party as he's got some MILF snorting cocaine out of his asshole, when all of a sudden the Coast Guard raids his boat. And
The Coast Guard.
Yeah. And Brian just happens to be there, and Chuck called in the anonymous tip to the Coast Guard. Figured he'd get two dudes with one stone. That's what happened. That's why Brian's in jail.
2 dudes with 1 cocaine MILF?
Yes.
That's what it takes.
Two dudes, one
all right,
cocaine MILF.
So Brian it's not like Brian is not with Chuck. It's not like Brian is just like took a thing to go to the private sector. Brian is in jail. And not like I believe he's not in jail. I believe he's in prison. He's like, it's the jumpsuit. It's far away. That's a point of contention earlier, is that he's not in a nice place. He's in a like high security place. They don't have vending machines, which means they're afraid of giving people their glass, probably. So that's a whole thing. So you don't just go to medium to high security prison for financial crimes or doing weird shit or like perjury. You have to
does
be,
the weird stuff.
You've got to be, ideally how this should be working in our society, a violent person of some variety. So I'm going to posit what happened her, or no, we're getting weird with it.
Weird
Sorry.
with it. Yeah.
Is during a case, during the big case that Brian was putting together at the end of last season against Axe, which has clearly failed, I'm going to guess that he gets so riled up. There's a point where Chuck betrays him, like, on the stand. And he gets so riled up that he not only assaults Chuck in the courtroom, but he has to do some violent crime here, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking he gets so riled up on Chuck's betrayal that maybe he, like, stabs a jurist.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of violence against Chuck.
Well, Ben's got to do his
Ben, give us a weird
get
with
weird with it.
So I'm
going
going
to
to
time
get
to
weird.
finish your snack.
Sorry, it's
What are you
been
eating over there?
3 hours.
Yeah.
It's a
What are you eating over
legitimate
there,
question.
No, I did not finish it. I had a
First, tell me what you're
bag
eating.
of-
I have to know.
It's a bag of popcorn from a work event
Oh, good.
that I was saving because
Don't eat microwave
hungry.
popcorn though. It's bad for your testicles. Google it.
Well,
Just
we're all
FYI.
going to die anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there's microplastics down there already. So.
Um,
Anyway, sorry.
So-
Get weird with it.
My get weird with it is that Chuck decides not to use the why am I blanking on the name of the thing I've used 1,000,000 times?
The toilet.
The slide from the doctor.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Shit. And Brian finds out about it, and he breaks into Chuck's house to steal it.
Ooh.
And that is simultaneously the thing that gets Brian arrested because he's found in Chuck's house, and the nail in the coffin of Chuck's and Wendy's relationship.
Ooh. Yeah.
Also, while he's there, Brian is not wearing pants
of course.
because we're getting weird.
Yeah.
Tidy whities.
No, nothing underneath the
Oh,
shirt.
he's freeballing. Okay.
And I'm
Dangerous.
free balling.
So let's see. Tanner
Well, yeah,
and
so
Wendy hang
Brian-
out where the
He doesn't say a word. He just punches him right in the
punches
face.
Chuck in
And
the face.
may I just say, Brian's technique here, excellent. You know, I did 2 years of Krav Maga, so I'm by no means an expert, but just seeing here from doing the pivot, doing the heel turn, the follow through.
He really got his hips in it.
Excellent punch. The only flaw I can find is he didn't retract his arm immediately. Because,
Krav Maga's bullshit.
Okay, Master Ken, but but yeah, you need to retract your arm, otherwise you're just leaving yourself open for an arm bar. But given the circumstances of this particular punch, I think it's acceptable that he left it out there as a big fuck you to Chuck. And you can see he is completely satisfied with the results as the guards come in and take him back to his cell. He is like, yep, worth it.
And I appreciate Chuck being like, fair.
Yep. Not even upset about it. He knows what he did. So after this, we get a little bit. Tanner and Wendy are on the set from the last scene from Fight Club, while Chuck is having
Yes,
dinner.
I wrote that exact same thing.
Yeah, it's identical.
I was always hoping some buildings would explode in the background.
While Chuck is having dinner with Emmy winner Juliana Margulies, ER, Good Wife, and Snakes on a Plane.
Oh, she was in Snakes on a Plane? I recognized her from my
multiple
favorite.
Emmy winner here.
Yeah, she was in Stand Up Guys.
Her last name,
my
right?
favorite Al Pacino movie. Al Pacino and Christopher Walken. If you haven't seen this movie, dude, watch it on your next movie night because it's so fucking good. Al Pacino and Christopher Walken just have amazing chemistry in this movie. So
Yeah. We finally cut back to Papa Rhodes where he is collapsed, and both Wendy and Chuck end up in his hospital.
Okay, did you guys notice the almost one-for-one reference this was?
What do you mean?
2? No, I didn't catch it.
Also, it's Margulies.
Okay.
Anyway, no, this is what? Hey, why is this trying to sign me out? I'm here.
Oh,
Fuck.
No.
Okay.
I can still hear you, Ben. You still here?
For some reason, this podcast tried to sign me out.
This is gonna be a bitch to edit, but okay.
No, they straight up did the Godfather. Putting the orange slice in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then having
Yeah,
a
they
heart
did.
attack.
You're right. Good
Mm-hmm.
catch. This is
Wait,
Marlon
they're straight up
Brando's.
doing the
Yeah.
Godfather, except not in a
On a
tomato.
vineyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good call. So yeah, at first I thought that those oranges that Chuck Sr. was eating were poisoned. This was like a callback to Indiana Jones with the bad dates. But yeah, and this is where we find out that this baby is not his granddaughter, but just his daughter.
Yep, and Chuck's sister.
What the fuck? Jesus.
Yeah.
This is... What the hell, man?
So, Xhafer,
Yeah.
what happened to her?
Oh, come on.
Oh, man. Oh, this is easy. Like, we saw him picking up the Viagra. My notes actually say, man, we saw him pick up the Viagra. I should have put this as a... Wait. Let me retake this. My notes say, we saw him picking up the Viagra. We should have seen this coming. No pun intended.
Oh,
Very well done.
Yeah.
Very well done. Yeah, we get an awkward meeting with the new partners. They're... oh God, we completely skipped over. You guys must have done this while I was offline. But yeah, fucking Frank Grillo.
Yeah, Frank Grillo is
Yeah.
Tanner. Yeah.
no, Wendy
Yeah,
Malick.
Yeah, we got fucking. I forgot the name of his character in the Avengers, but it was
He's Crossbones.
Brock Lesnar. Is that who it is? Brock.
No,
No, that's a wrestler.
Rumlow.
Brock Rumlow. Yeah. I could have sworn he was the Punisher at some point, but I went
No.
through IMDb and God, I could have
He's
sworn. If any of your listeners out there are from having the same Mandela effect as me, that when Frank Grillo was the Punisher at some point,
yeah, he
message
was
me.
Crossbones.
Anyway, yeah, we get Crossbones and
does have a
Chuck's new
skull on his
dominatrix
outfit
there as
in
the the third wheels in the room.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I like how they're just like, okay, we're just gonna wait outside.
It is weird for me, though, that Chuck is like, Wendy, why are you here? And she's like, they just went down the emergency contact list. And I'm like, why did Chuck Sr. have Wendy that high on the emergency contact list?
It's
I mean,
probably both of them.
Yeah.
And
didn't bother to
guessing-
change it.
yeah, just didn't bother to change it.
No, I can vouch for that. When I was hospitalized, I hadn't updated my emergency contacts in like forever, and they called an ex girlfriend of mine.
Oh,
Yeah, yep. Ope is correct. Anyway,
That was like the first thing I did.
how do you remember to do that, man?
It's important.
Anyway,
it's okay.
Chuck needs a new
I've
liver.
never updated my emergency contact list because men die alone.
Okay, Captain Kirk.
It was fun.
It was fun. Yeah,
But
so
we find out
Sr.
Chuck
needs a
Sr.
new
needs
liver.
a kidney transplant.
Or a kidney. Okay, I
Yeah.
wrote down liver, and it was one of those organs. Jackie meets up with Kate after the heist, and I'm super pissed that they just skipped over the heist scene. I was like, come on,
Right?
man.
That is
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
want.
That's what you're pissed about? Not them drinking bullet bourbon, which is not a Mitchter's product?
Oh, fuck, I didn't catch
I don't
that.
give a shit.
Damn it.
It was his points.
Yeah, there goes that point.
We don't
But,
care. We didn't make the prediction, Ben.
Yeah, well, we still got at least 2
They're
more
also
episodes.
drinking Blanton's,
What the hell is Blanton's?
a different type of bourbon.
Oh.
Another fancy bourbon.
Yeah.
That one's Buffalo Trace.
Yeah. Anyway, Jackie puts the moves on Kate for with some post heist high that they both have,
Yeah.
and Kate
Yeah.
pours herself a drink and is like, "Fuck it, I'm DTF."
Yep.
Then we
Chuck's
cut back
dad
over.
is ineligible for transplant list because he doesn't
'Cause,
take care
yeah.
of himself.
'Cause he's
That's what
old,
fucking
he drinks,
happens.
and he smokes, and yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
That's
back at
how she goes.
Back at Axe Capital HQ, the finance bros in the conference room, they're all watching the hit piece on TV that the journalist does.
We have
about
had the reporter bouncing in and out this episode.
Yeah.
yeah.
So they're all celebrating. I noticed that Ari has a tattoo on his face. I'm gonna say last time on, Ari did some jail time with Dollar Bill, and that's why they're so buddy now, because they were cellmates for a little bit. Yeah. And then who do we get? We get Hall. He finally
Yeah.
respawned. And he looks like shit. I don't know what happened with him, but I mean, his respawn counter took a long time. So he comes in, and he was doing. Was this where he was spying on Bobby's mother?
Yes.
Is that where we're at? Yeah.
So we find out that Bobby's mom is back in touch with Bobby's dad, and that's not okay.
Yeah, we see
Big
Bobby
problems.
X visit his mother about this, confronts her about this, and we see Bobby. I think this is the first time we've seen him lose his cool in our entire viewing of this entire series. Like, this is the first time he actually ever raises his voice. Then he describes what his father put the two of them through. We've never actually seen this man yet, but I'm getting big Frank Gallagher vibes from from Bobby's father.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Hey,
say
con man.
last time on, Billions and Shameless take place in the same universe.
I firmly believe you.
Yeah, that would be epic if Frank Gallagher is Bobby's his illegitimate son. And
We then have our meeting between Lauren and Wendy, where
Yeah.
Lauren, having been told, hey, stay the hell out of this, is like, nah, nah. What Taylor meant was actually confront Wendy, the person who's smarter and better at this than me. And it's just like, hey, stop this and leave Taylor alone. And Taylor shows up and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And goes from the 10% that they originally offered Wendy to 40. Because, you know what? Screw it. You just need to know that you are valued and I don't hate you and I'm not opposed to you. You now have such a large percentage that you are just in.
Yep.
I'm going to say next
Feel like
time
they could have
on-
gotten that from 26, but well.
I'm going to say next time on, Wendy betrays Taylor anyway.
Save it for your predictions.
Oh,
Yeah,
I already-
that's predictions zone.
I already got 3 good ones. I just got to throw that out there.
Axe
so
goes
then-
to his mom to give her hell about helping his dad, going as far to threaten to cut her off.
Yeah.
Yeah, threatens his own mother. Typical Bobby Axe.
Ryan saves
we
that
get a
one incel whose name I never bothered to learn.
Winston.
Winston,
Is a piece
yeah.
of shit.
He is such a douchebag. Yeah. I love the part where where Gal Gadot's quirky sister sticks up for him and says, "Yeah, no, we need him on board as a sounding board." And Taylor says, "Okay, welcome back aboard." And he was like, "I've
it's
been
also
on board this whole time."
But it's also the sort of thing where it's just like, if Taylor is as smart as Taylor is portrayed to be, being like, hey, we need to have somebody who is opposition in our company. Yeah. Duh.
Yeah. Wags wants to be the new bank CEO.
Yeah.
I can see that. Chuck meets with I didn't get her real name, but Wendy Malick's character. I wrote her down as
Calder.
Mallory.
Miss Calder.
Yep. Then we get a completely unnecessary Paul Giamatti sex scene. I did not need
Is
to
it-
see this.
Chuck
I
and
did not
Cat,
see-
fuck.
I did not need to see him flopping around in bed there.
They pick
if I
up their
wanted-
date because it was interrupted by Chuck Sr. Also, I did appreciate that Cat, his date, is just like, okay, so I know some shit about you. Do you just need to be tortured, or can we actually have sex? He's like, no, I can do
Well,
sex too.
She asked him if he can do penetrative sex, and immediately my question was, who's being penetrated here?
That's, hey, they
That's
don't
a legitimate
clarify.
question.
Hey.
Anyway,
I'm not going to yuck anyone's yums.
yeah. Well, then we get a party at Taylor Mason Carbon.
Yeah.
I played that Need for Speed game. So it was
Wait, I thought it was Taylor Mason Cabron.
hell yeah.
I don't speak Spanish.
Muy poquito here. But yeah, she's Taylor is trying to be a socially conscious capitalist, which no, you can't do that. Stop it, Taylor. Just go full dark side, okay? Then, unless I'm missing anything here, Bobby goes to Yonkers again to meet with the kid, buys him a new house, and I'm like, dude, you should have just gone with bribery to begin with, okay?
Right?
Just bribe the kid. Don't try to flatter him.
They pay off all the kid's debt and send him to Flagstaff.
Flagstaff? Is that where they... Really?
It was somewhere in Arizona.
Oh, was it? Okay. And
Or
gives
maybe it was
him
Scottsdale.
Tucson.
Yeah.
Tucson?
Gives him a man-to-man
Arizona.
talk.
Tucson, Arizona.
He says, kid, if your father ever tries to show up in your life again, because he will, because now you're debt-free and now you're in a nice house in a nice city, you know, tell him to fuck right off. And
Right.
says, take a good look around in this neighborhood and kiss it all goodbye. And you know what, guys? Ever since I moved into this new house at the beginning of the month and I changed my phone number, I'll give you the story behind why I did that later. But I've been going through and giving my contacts list and giving out my new number. I realized that, you know what? There's a lot of people in my contacts list that don't need my new number. I'm just going to start a new chapter in my life, you know, and it's great. Feels great. So, yeah, I really identified with Yonkers Kid here. It felt good.
All right.
But at this point, Axe calls Wendy and like ruins her night because she's just like, "Hey, I'm having fun here at this launch party." Oh shit, Axe, are like you sad in a room somewhere?
I need you to help me deal with my childhood trauma.
There's like a throwaway line here that I had to like pause and bask in before Axe calls Wendy.
That bitch Carol Baskin?
No, bask in.
Oh,
not Baskins. No Robins here. So at the lunch party, I wish I had heard this before, because this is something I have tried to express professionally a number of times, and I will be adopting it. I'm going to say this week at work. I promise. Which is, I wish I could have said it this succinctly. Luck is just lazy math.
Yes,
but it's not.
Oh, but it is a lot of the time. So a lot of people assume things are down to luck that are not down to luck because of lazy math. And I have to explain that to people all the fucking time.
That really seems like
also,
a Xhafer slogan. Xhafer.
But there is also a percentage of things that is larger than you expect that is just based to things you cannot include in your calculation.
Yeah. Yeah, but no. That's not what we're talking about, Ben. We're not talking about variables that you can't anticipate. We're talking about people who don't bother because they're lazy, and they just say, well, I can't figure it out, so it's luck-based, right? Because you can't begin to comprehend everything.
I read it as the other thing where it's just like, no, of course it's not lucky, I'm good. And it's like, no, there are always 40% of things you can never calculate for. You got lucky. You are never as good as you think you are.
Yes, in a similar vein, one thing that drove me mad, and I wish I could cite the source for this, but I remember looking it up a long-ass time ago, when people say trust your gut or go with your gut, there was a study done that, God, I wish I remember what it was.
I'm lactose intolerant. I never.
Shut up, Ben. It's not about your milk farts, okay? Listen, it's that there were studies done that go off of how many times someone said that trusted their gut, and it comes down to 50-50. Okay, so when people say, trust your gut, go with your instincts. No, don't fucking do that, especially if you're in a leadership position. Analyze all the data. Don't go with your gut feeling, because you know what your gut tells you? Your gut is what tells you to go eat a burger when you should be having a salad, okay? That's the sort of thing your gut tells you to do.
I'm feeling very attacked right now.
Look, I've just had a lot of this is a trigger thing for me, because in the fucking Army, they do this all the time. They say, well, my gut instinct tells me to do this. And it's like, shut the fuck up! You're making the wrong decision, and you're making a shitty excuse for it because you're lazy at math.
Well, now I'm just mad because, Victor, you just, because of luck, missed the chance to be deployed to beautiful scenic Tehran.
You know what? I played that mission in Battlefield 3. I'm good.
Right. I'm really glad you're out.
Yeah.
So am I, brother. So am I. All right, so
Wendy goes over childhood bedroom. They talk about paternal drama. Wendy goes over and they talk about paternal trauma.
Paternal trauma.
Got there. This was Savion's Family House 2. We already talked about why this matters with Axe. Vic gave us a thing, so we're not going to get weird with
beat
it.
His mom. It was bad.
He could always tell if he was coming home drunk or not by the way he pulled into the driveway. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something I don't know. My dad never came home drunk or anything like this, but it was also just I've heard enough stories like this where I'm just like, oh, this makes me feel real bad.
Yeah, I got a lot of this from my mom. My biological grandfather.
Ooh, my fellow millennials, let's drink to our childhood trauma. So, here's a toast.
Makes me real glad, like, hey, I didn't have any of this in my house.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're the paladin of the group, Ben.
I mean, I will say, just to allude there. He did. My grandmother left him, having never held a job in her life before I was born. Was remarried before I was born. Oh yeah, there's a whole story with her. It's crazy. She's a badass. Anyways, he took this to get his life together, and he ended up dying with his 50-year AA chip. And ended up helping literally hundreds of people deal with their alcoholism in the police department. It was a whole thing.
Now I feel real bad for having
turn
drained
shit
this whiskey.
So
You earned it, Ben. You earned it.
anyways, yeah.
That
said-
Bobby crushes Alexis.
Yeah,
just to piss
Bobby
off his dad.
destroys the car his mom gave to his dad.
While Neil Young's old man plays.
Yes.
Yep. So we get a boxed up Lexus, 2 credits.
But we do see
Square
Bobby
Lexus.
seeing his dad, but not confronting him, just watching an old man sad that his car was destroyed.
That was pretty epic. This is such a Frank Gallagher moment, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It made me want to do like a possible narrative blending all the TV shows we've watched into one big fan fiction. I'm working on it.
Stargate makes that easier.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So let's
We're
roll
ready
some
to roll
bones.
some dice. That is a 14.
Whoa! Damn, we are burning through this one.
That's a heavy.
Told you.
It's a heavy. We're on track still, because the formula's set up for 8 episodes. That's what it's tuned to. So that's going to be 1 episode a season plus 1 season that we watch 2 episodes in,
And we've already done that.
and we've already done that. So we're good. Mathematically speaking, we're on pace right now. We're in season 6, episode 9, Hindenburg.
Uh-oh.
Chuck fights to unlock the city for the people. Prince and his brain trust hatch a plan to turn the tables. After uncovering investment reversal, Taylor teams up with Philip.
Holy shit.
Who's
So-
Phil?
Well, I'm looking
Prince?
at the previews here. Oh my god. Prince is the bad guy from Ant-Man. What's his name? The Yellow Jacket, I think.
Spoilers.
Well, it's right there on the fucking thumbnail. So
We'll get there. Anyways,
Anyway.
Spoil it for me, Vic.
I didn't spoil.
so
I spoiled.
that's our next episode.
I spoiled the thumbnail. All right, whatever. Time for everyone's favorite part of the show.
Lincoln, what are you doing up there?
Guessing? I guess no one's coming.
I have seen into the future.
You ruined the prophecy.
And let me go first. Let me go first.
Before we get going, I want to mention something. We are within striking distance of the finale on the next roll.
Damn.
So we might have one more set of predictions after this. Like, that would be reasonable. If we roll a 14, 15... Well, 14 and up, because it's 3d6. So
I got a
we
feeling you're going to roll
14
low.
to 18.
I think we're going to
We'll
get
see.
2 more episodes.
We'll see you next
I
episode.
don't think he is.
Yeah. Side bet, Ben. Let's have that. All
And
right.
That's not saying I don't believe Xhafer is rolling fair.
Well,
I
my gut
appreciate
tells
that.
me.
But
My gut tells me that he's going to roll low. All
All
right.
Vic, what do you got?
Daytime prediction. We never see Frank Grillo again.
he'll do anything.
Evening prediction. I'm still toss up on whether I should go, which way I should go with this one, but we're either.
Left.
So we've gotten this. We've had the same fucking short ass intro for the entire run of the series. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say we get a different intro for the final season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next episode is not the final season. There's one after it.
Okay. Good. Well, at least before the final season, we get a new
Okay.
intro sequence.
In the next 2 seasons, we get a new intro.
Yeah.
Because if we get a new one next episode and it's not new for the final season,
And they go back to the original for the final season
yeah,
for some stupid
yeah,
reason,
you'd get fucked.
just
yeah.
to fuck with
So-
Victor. Yeah, I could see that.
Exactly.
Happening. And my primetime prediction: Chuck he either donates his own kidney, or he finds a new kidney for his father through like a black market, or he just donates
Oh,
his
Chuck
own. Either
steals
way.
a kidney.
Yeah, Chuck gets a new kidney for Chuck Senior, but Chuck Sr. refuses and gives it and does the honorable thing and gives it to a younger, more deserving donor, and he dies. That's my prime time.
That
Okay.
is not how Rhodes handle things.
Yeah, and that's why it's my prime time.
I already got Rhodes Senior dying during the course of the show is like from my episode 1 prediction.
Yeah.
So I won't be building on that. Daytime, we never see Ryan again. My evening prediction: Wendy gets bored of the new investment firm and does something else.
Oh.
You think
I
it's
don't
going to be
know.
psychology related?
I don't know when. It might not. It might be psychology related. It might not. But she's not gonna stick with this. She's gonna do something besides work for Taylor Mason Coben.
Taylor Mason Cabron?
Cabron.
Cabron. My prime time
steak.
prediction: Chuck and Wendy have broken up and reconciled, and broken up. I'm gonna guess Chuck and Wendy reconcile again.
That's an easy one. Yeah, I think that's.
You think that's
definitely-
easy? I don't know.
Well, I know.
It
okay,
feels like guest
okay,
star
maybe
fodder
not because
at this point.
because in Breaking Bad, Walter and I forgot her name,
Skyler.
Skyler, they went through a similar thing and they stayed broken up until the end. So yeah, that could go either way.
All right.
All
Well,
right,
my
Ben, what do we got?
daytime is Bobby destroys the house.
Oh yeah, he's gonna burn that shit to the
Oh,
ground.
yeah. My evening is Brian gets out of prison.
Yeah.
Brian gets out. And my prime time, we run into another person killed by John Wick before the show ends.
Nice.
2 episodes, maybe 3 left. That is a
Yeah.
That's why it's
ballsy.
prime time.
Well, that's a good one. John Wick does have he's got quite a high body count. So
Prodigious, one might
I hope
say.
it's the twins from I think it was John Wick 3. That's my
The
either that
twins?
or the Iron Chef man. The what's his name? The Chancellor. Oh, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy.
From John Wick 3.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with all that said, only one thing left to do, and that's say thank
the chairman.
you.
That was his name. The chairman. Sorry.
Thanks, Ripe, for letting us use Goon Squad as our theme music. We appreciate the hell out of it, and we appreciate the hell out of you. They just dropped a video for their new song. They've got a new single coming out in the next couple of weeks. Probably going to be an album this year, towards the end of the year,
nice.
guys.
So.
At the rate they're putting out singles right now, probably due for an album announcement soon. Looking forward to that. They're touring a bit still. Go see them live.
And thank you to you, the listener. You're the reason we keep coming back here each week. If you enjoy our podcast and you want to drop us a message, go to voicecast.app/LTO. Or if you just want to shoot the shit with us, join our Discord. Look for the What Happened Here Productions Discord. And if you really like our show, please leave us a review on iTunes. Really helps the show out. And if you don't like our show, then keep that shit to yourself.
And we'll see you next time on Last Time On.